There are hardly many video game series like GTA which again and again sets the standard and revolutionize games. And their first ahead-of-the-time moment was simply GTA 3. When Grand Theft Auto 3 was released in 2001, it was a game-changing moment in the industry. This open-world masterpiece from Rockstar Games set a new standard for what was possible in a video game, and in many ways, it was way ahead of its time. One of the most striking aspects of GTA 3 was its sheer scale and ambition. The game's sprawling metropolis of Liberty City felt alive and vibrant, packed with a diverse cast of characters, a multitude of activities, and a level of interactivity that was unheard of at the time. Players could seamlessly navigate the city, commandeer any vehicle they desired, and engage in a wide array of missions and side quests that offered genuine depth and variety. But it wasn't just the size and scope of the game that was so impressive. It was the level of detail and emergent gameplay that truly set GTA 3 apart. The world felt alive and reactive, with pedestrians going about their daily lives, law enforcement responding to the player's actions, and a dynamic weather system that added to the overall atmosphere. GTA 3's narrative was surprisingly complex and nuanced, with a gripping story that explored themes of corruption, betrayal, and the moral ambiguity of the criminal underworld. The game's voice acting and cinematic presentation were also top-notch, helping to immerse players in the gritty world of Liberty City. GTA 3 demonstrated that open-world games could be more than just vast, empty spaces. In many ways, GTA 3 was a glimpse into the future of gaming. Its influence can be seen in countless open-world games that have followed in its footsteps, each one building upon the foundations laid by this groundbreaking title. While the gaming landscape has evolved significantly since 2001, GTA 3 remains a landmark achievement that continues to inspire and captivate players to this day. Now during GTA San Andreas and its fitness mechanic, that thing was so ahead of the time that Rockstar realized people aren't ready for it. You know, when Rockstar dropped GTA San Andreas back in 2004, they really went all in on this fitness mechanic that was just way too ahead of its time. I mean, who would have thought players would want to meticulously manage their in-game character's muscle mass, body fat percentage, and lung capacity? Sounds like a total workout, am I right? But in all seriousness, that fitness system was honestly kind of next level. You could hit the gym, go for a jog, or chow down on some protein shakes to sculpt your character into an absolute unit. Want to be a roided-up tank that can punch dudes into oblivion? Pump that iron, my friend. Or if you prefer a more lean, agile build, focus on cardio and eat your veggies. The level of customization was wild. The crazy part is, these physical attributes actually impacted your gameplay in meaningful ways. Being in top shape could give you an edge in certain situations. Your sprinting speed, stamina, and even combat skills would improve. It was like having a real-life gym routine, except your character was the one sweating it out, not you. Talk about dedication, am I right? Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds awesome. Where do I sign up? But the reality is, not everyone was a fan of this fitness grind. I mean, sometimes you just want to hop in a car, go on a rampage, and not worry about hitting the treadmill, you know? The constant need to monitor your character's diet and exercise routine could feel like a bit of a chore for some players. So in the end, I guess Rockstar kinda had to make a choice. Keep the fitness system in all its complex glory, or simplify things for a wider audience. And well, you know how it went down. GTA 4 and 5 dialed it back, giving us a more streamlined approach to health and stamina. Sure, it may have been less impressive than the San Andreas days, but at least we could focus on the important stuff, like carjacking and blowing stuff up, am I right? Ah, the good old days. GTA San Andreas was truly a game ahead of its time. But sometimes, I can't help but wonder, what if Rockstar had doubled down on that fitness madness? Could we have had personal trainers and meal prep services in our open-world mayhem? The mind boggles, my friends. The mind boggles. Now let me tell you about how GTA 5 absolutely crushed it with that whole character switching mechanic. Seriously, that feature was so ahead of its time. I don't think anyone's really come close to matching it, even to this day. And it's been 11 years. Think about it. You're playing as Michael, minding your own business, maybe plotting your next big heist. And then, with the press of a button, You can instantly switch over to Franklin or Trevor and see the world through their eyes. No loading screens, no interruptions, just a seamless transition between these three completely unique characters. That's the thing that blew my mind the most. The way Rockstar made each of these protagonists feel so distinct and fully realized. Michael, the ex-con trying to go straight. Franklin, the ambitious hustler looking to make a name for himself. And Trevor, the unhinged loose cannon who's always ready to unleash pure chaos. It was like playing three different games within one epic open-world adventure. And the best part? The way these characters' stories and lives intertwined was just downright masterful. You could be in the middle of a mission as Franklin, and then suddenly switch over to Michael, only to find him dealing with the fallout from Trevor's latest antics. It created this amazing sense of cohesion and interconnectedness that made the world of GTA 5 feel alive and reactive in a way that no other open-world game had before. Seriously, think about it. When was the last time you played a game where you could instantly inhabit the shoes of multiple protagonists, each with their own distinct personality and playstyle? It's a level of narrative complexity and player agency that just doesn't really exist in most other games, even today. Sure, some titles have tried to emulate that character-swapping magic, but they always seem to fall a little short. There's always some sort of loading screen or transition that breaks the flow, or the protagonists just don't feel as fleshed out and unique as Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. In the end, I think that's what made the character switching in GTA 5 so revolutionary. It wasn't just a gimmick or a cool technical feat. It was a fundamental part of the game's design that elevated the entire experience. It was a bold, ambitious move that really pushed the boundaries of what was possible in an open-world game. And if you ask me, it's a feature that's still waiting to be matched by the competition. GTA San Andreas also had a very cool multiplayer mode. The idea was simple, really. Let players explore the sprawling world of Los Santos and the surrounding areas together, causing all kinds of mayhem and hijinks. Imagine cruising down the streets of Grove Street with your crew, pulling off heists, racing hot rods, and just generally raising a ruckus. It had the potential to be an absolute blast. The problem was, the technology at the time just wasn't quite up to the task. I mean, we're talking about a game that was pushing the boundaries of what was possible on the PS2 and Xbox, trying to cram in full-fledged online multiplayer on top of that? Whew, talk about a tall order. So what ended up happening was a bit of a compromise. Rockstar included a multiplayer mode, but it was fairly limited in scope. You could only play with a handful of friends, and the experience was pretty segmented, with players inhabiting their own little instances of the game world. No seamless, shared open world. No ability to team up and cause mass mayhem. Just a taste of that multiplayer magic. And you could tell Rockstar was really itching to do more with it too. The way they implemented things like allowing players to join each other's games and participate in various co-op missions and activities, it was clear they had bigger ambitions. They were just held back by the technical constraints of the era. Fast forward a few years though, and you start to see the vision come to life in later GTA titles. GTA Online, for example, finally gave players that true shared open-world experience they'd been craving. Suddenly, you could link up with your friends, form crews, and wreak havoc across a living, breathing city. It was the fulfillment of that San Andreas multiplayer dream, just with a few more years of technical progress under Rockstar's belt. But you know, even with all the advancements we've seen, I can't help but wonder, what if Rockstar had been able to fully realize that San Andreas multiplayer vision back in the day? How much more chaotic and unpredictable could those sessions have been, with the entire world of Los Santos as your playground? The mind boggles, my friends. The mind boggles. Ah, the what-ifs of gaming history. But hey, at least we can take solace in the fact that Rockstar kept pushing the envelope, even when the technology couldn't quite keep up. And hey, who knows what they've got in store for the future, right? Maybe we'll see an open-world multiplayer experience that makes even GTA Online look like child's play. One can dream, my dudes. One can dream. Another time Rockstar was simply ahead of the time best people couldn't realize the creativity was GTA 4 style and tone, where Rockstar decided to take the series in a darker, more grounded direction. Looking back, I gotta say, that shift in tone was way ahead of its time, even if it didn't exactly sit well with the fans at the time. You see, When GTA 4 dropped back in 2008, the series had kind of become known for its over-the-top, Hollywood-esque antics. You had cartoon-like characters, ridiculous scenarios, and a whole lot of bombastic, high-octane mayhem. And let's be honest, that's what a lot of the fans had come to expect from their Grand Theft Auto experience. But then Rockstar went and threw us a curveball with GTA 4. Instead of the usual neon-soaked, cartoonish vibe, they served up a gritty, grounded tale of an Eastern European immigrant trying to make it in the Big Apple. The story was darker. The characters were more nuanced, and the overall atmosphere had this almost oppressive, melancholic feel to it. They were so used to the wacky, over-the-top antics of the previous games that this more serious, somber tone just didn't really click for them. But here's the thing. In hindsight, that shift in direction was actually kind of brilliant. GTA 4 was a masterclass in narrative-driven open-world design, with a level of depth and complexity that really pushed the boundaries of what the genre was capable of. The characters felt more fully realized, the world felt more lived in and reactive, and the story itself was just gripping as all hell. And you know what's even crazier? This was all happening way back in 2008, when the open-world genre was still kind of finding its footing. Most other games were still stuck in that bombastic, over-the-top mindset, but Rockstar was out here trying to redefine what was possible. Of course, the fans eventually got their wish, and Rockstar went back to a more lighthearted, action-oriented tone with the subsequent GTA games. But you know what? I think a lot of people have come around on GTA 4 in the years since. They've realized just how masterful and ahead of its time that game really was. With its moody atmosphere, its rich characters, and its willingness to tackle more grounded, nuanced themes. GTA 4, the game that was just a little too real for its own good. But in the end, I think that's what makes it such a masterpiece. Rockstar was willing to take a big swing, to push the boundaries of what an open-world game could be. And even if the fans weren't quite ready for it at the time, I like to think that GTA 4 has aged like a fine wine, a true testament to the studio's creative vision and technical prowess. What major breakthrough you think Rockstar Games can pull with GTA 6 because of how advanced technology is right now? Comment down and subscribe to the channel above all. See you in the next video. Till then, take care and have a nice day.